金色ラブリッチェ。どうかした市松くん。
If I really give it some thought, Sundays may be the toughest on me ever since I enrolled at this academy.
なんで？休みじゃん。
Days off mean there's nothing to do. This dorm was questionably far from town, so it was a hassle to walk to and from. With that said, there was nothing to do in the dorm either. That was probably fine for the other girls since the boarders all got along so well. But my acceptance into the dorm was still a recent development, and I wasn't a hot enough guy to mingle among the girls. Given how things are, it's boring when there's nobody to hang out with.
なるほどね。
What do you say, Kaga? Wanna take pity on me and hang out for the day?
この後彩香と約束あるけど、混ざりたいなら。
I've got other plans. It would be in my best interest to avoid Jogasaki at all costs. So much time to kill.
どっか行ってくりゃいいのに。
I'm not so sure about going out for a walk for no reason. It's already pretty cold out too. The temperature in late November was low enough that you would want a reason to go outside.
友達と遊んできたら？
There's definitely no getting a hold of Kikuchio on a Sunday. He kept going on about something to do with lessons or high society.
録音寺くんは忙しいだろうけど。
Wonder if Reina's around? I hadn't seen her since earlier that morning. Having her around would be a game changer all on its own. She was the only one in this dorm that I could talk to normally.
あんた、うちに転校する前の友達とかいないわけ？ マジ？
Wait, I've got friends like anyone else. But I haven't told any of them I'm at Noble Academy right now. It'd be a pain to explain to them that I transferred, plain and simple. Hey, don't doubt me. I'm really not a loner.
まあいいけど。
Damn it, she didn't believe a word I said. I did have friends, damn it. Had, I should say.
レイコ、どこ？あ、こっち。今行く。市松さんと話していたの？世間話だって。
Off she went. I was genuinely alone. What to do now? When?
誰か保健の先生知らない？
Huh?
あかねちんが倒れちゃったの。病院。
Oh no! I couldn't help but panic by how spur of the moment it was, but I quickly sprung into action. Akane-chan was sprawled out on the pavement in front of the dorm. What in the world happened?
長距離走るって言うから、もう寒いし、私のサウナスーツ貸してあげたの。したら走り終わったところで。
Ah, a sauna suit, huh? Even though she'd already taken it off, I bet she'd worn it over her tracksuit, which was now soaking wet. She'd simply swooned and lost strength in her legs, so she didn't seem to be in especially bad shape. Probably heat stroke from wearing unfamiliar clothes. I'll carry her inside. She'd catch a cold if she stayed outside while drenched in sweat. I carried her inside.
あかね、どうしたんだい？汗すごすぎ。何があったんですか？
She just got too hot. Could someone bring over a sports drink for her? The moderately cool foyer would be perfect, so I laid her out on the nearby sofa. Reina quickly bought an Akari sweat at the convenience store. Here, can you drink? I transferred it into a cup and brought it to her mouth. I slowly tipped it forward. Whoops!
すいません。
She choked. Once again, I slowly had her drink.
ありがとうございました。
Sounds like you are fully conscious. Do you feel sick or anything?
大丈夫です。ただ、ちょっとクラクラきただけで。
Since you're physically fit, I bet that caused your body temperature to rise all at once. No getting up, just rest.
はい。
I gently placed her legs up on the sofa's armrest and slid plastic bottles under her armpits.
何やってんの？
With heat stroke, you need to stay hydrated, elevate your legs to ease circulation, and put something cold under each armpit to cool off. This also warms the drink up to make it easier to drink while you are at it.
詳しいね。
More or less.
大丈夫なんですか？
Yeah, you had her wear a sauna suit, right?
うん、私の。
This sometimes happens to people when they wear sauna suits, especially the ones who go on long distance runs. Akane-chan did run and track club a lot. Her body knew she was running based on muscle memory alone, but her body temperature rose too fast from wearing a sauna suit and running in such cool conditions. When purchasing a sauna suit, it should state something to the effect of "Please break the suit in a few times" on the warning label.
そうなんだ。ウィンドブレーカーにちょうどいいと思ったんだけど。
Given how cold it had been, I was sure Reina was just trying to do something nice for one of the track club members.
ごめんよ、あかねち。いえ、とんでもないです。レイナ先輩の気持ち、嬉しかったです。
Her symptoms were luckily quite mild, and she would be better in no time once she cooled off and got some rest. She would be fine now that she was able to drink on her own. Don't make that face. It was an act of kindness. This definitely bothered her. She looked flashy, but was actually delicate. I bet Akane-chan wasn't even worried about it either.
それにしても市松先輩、すごいですね。熱中症にも詳しいなんて。私も驚いたよ。足を上げて寝かせるとか聞いたことはあるけど、パッとは出てこなかった。
Well, yeah. I've collapsed due to heat stroke a few times in the past myself. I just remember it since it's happened to me personally.
先輩も熱中症で？あんた、運動部だっけ？
Haha, yes, before I transferred.
へえ、いい体してるとは思ってたけど。
It's all in the past, though.
すごいなあ、先輩。私も先輩みたいに倒れた人がいたらパパッと救護できるようになりたいです。とりあえず熱中症の時は覚えておこう。水分を取らせて足を上げて寝かせて脇の下に冷たいものを挟むでしたね。
The armpits or back of their neck, yeah. There were apparently large blood vessels there that were great for cooling the body. It was a useful piece of trivia you could use on sultry midsummer nights. Just put ice packs under your armpits when it was too hot to sleep and you were all set. It all depends on the person's condition. If they are unconscious, you should call an ambulance immediately.
そうなんですか。
There are also times where even if a person is conscious, their mouth will dry out and they won't be able to take in any fluids by themselves.
さっきのあかねちんみたいに一回むせちゃいましたもんね。
If you want to be absolutely sure, you should still head to the hospital regardless. But then you were able to drink like normal once you got some fluids in you, so I think you should be fine if you try a couple times like we did now, or even if you wash it down by force.
ですね。救急車呼ぶようなことにならなくてよかったです。
She probably wanted to avoid causing a major incident and looked apologetic.
何度か試す。無理やり流し込むってどういうことです？
水って無理やり喉に流し込むと気道が詰まって危ないんだろ？
Well, yeah, you wouldn't force it that hard. For example, you could slowly have them drink in stages through mouth to mouth. It was an effective solution for those who exhibited dehydration in deserts or the like.
マウスツーマウス。口と口。
マジ？熱中症程度で口移しで飲ませるとかあるの？
It happens sometimes, like when the hospital is far away, for example. I considered doing that for Akane-chan earlier too. I mean, it's great that you were able to drink so quickly, but you did choke that one time. I thought to myself, maybe it'd be best to have a drink mouth to mouth for just a moment there.
先輩が口に
おう大胆な発言だね。
I didn't actually do it, did I? Only considered it.
実行してなくても大胆発言だよ。ほら、茜、想像しただけで顔が真っ赤に。
プシュー。
茜！あ、茜ちゃんが頭から煙出して倒れた！あらら、熱中症第2弾。
Sorry.
はあ。
Reina was still upset even after Akane-chan headed back to her room. I told you, don't worry so much about it. You were being nice.
そうだけどさ、私は特に寮での自分のキャラには気を使ってるのよ。優しくて頼りになるレイナ先輩的な。中でも茜ちんは1年生じゃ一番仲良しだからさ、こういうミスは避けたかった。
Well, just means you'll be more careful the next time.
茜ちん、本当に大丈夫？
She'll be fine, I guarantee it. I'd seen heat stroke that minor a number of times. I knew she would be fine after taking her overall physical fitness and the absence of risky symptoms such as an unrelenting cold sweat into consideration.
よかった。にしても。オーラ頼もしかったね。
You think so? It was just a matter of knowing what to do, though.
本当だよ。見てたみんなの目ももっと変わったと思う。
Come to think of it, I guess we'd caused a bit of a disturbance when a number of the boarders came out into the foyer to investigate. Think people here in the dorm will appreciate me more?
上がる。
Will my story of creating a harem inside the women's dorm finally begin?
それほどではない。
I knew that.
でも普通に頼られる程度にはね。ほら、もうこの寮で十分好かれてるよ。
I hope so.
そうだって。教室でもそうじゃない。金色ラブリッチェ。
Lunchtime. On that note, even if they imposed indiscriminate regulations on 2D lollies, I doubt lolicon offenders would disappear from society entirely.
しかしその方面に興味を持ってしまう場合の絶対数を減らす効果はあるのでは？
No, which is why I believe 2D lollies and real children are totally separate.
おう、興味深い。
You know how 2D lollies are designed to do erotic things from the start? Even my dick judges them the second they show up. No matter how short they may be or if they are toting around a school bag, those factors are considered after you presume they'd be willing to do erotic things and your dick responds to that. When it's 3D, you know they are kids from the start and the temptation of doing anything erotic is non-existent from that point on. Regardless of what they're wearing, be it blue moss, a school swimsuit, or even if they were buck naked, my dick wouldn't react in the slightest. That's why, no matter how open-minded I may be to 2D lollies, 3D lollies don't turn me on at all. What do you think of my theory?
興味深いです。
If we were to get everyone to correctly understand this concept, it could be an effective means to rehabilitate the lolicon offenders of the world, and I think it would reduce witch hunts against rashly regulating 2D lollies as well.
なるほどな。
しかしロリには本当にミジンコほども興味のない僕から言わせてもらうといささか疑わしいですね。実際に市松くんが現実のロリータを見た上で興奮しなければ信じられますが。
Again, I'm saying this having seen it in real life.
は？
え、どこで見たの？
If you go to the bathhouse in my neighborhood around 5 o'clock, parents come into the man's bath with their young daughters all the time. I've seen more than enough nudity there, but it doesn't turn me on.
あ？
What's wrong?
なんだって銭湯に行くと女の子が
裸で？
Yeah.
なんだって
You're too loud.
レイナ、何見てるの？ああ、男子？ほんと毎日バカみたいな話してるよね。うん。すっかり打ち解けたよね、オーラ。そういえばいつの間にかよね。西郷とか最初はマストで嫌ってたのに。なんだか嬉しそうですね。なんでもない。ほら行こう、お昼ご飯。うん。
After school.
それでですね、オーロくん。俺たちみたいな貴族になると、いわゆる銭湯のような庶民の使う施設には馴染みがない。
しかし人生は勉強。馴染みがないからといって避けて通るようではいつか後悔する日が来る。
だからその銭湯に行ってみたいのですが。
Elsan, there are 3 perverts in the same class as the princess.
誤解です。僕に幼児愛好の趣味などないことはご存知でしょう。
You're clearly drawn to the idea of seeing a lolly, though.
そんなつもりはありません。でも現実に動く裸の異性を一度くらい見てみたいというか、聞いちゃったからにはというか。
Graphic. I thought you liked big boobs, Kikuchio.
はい、ロリの趣味ゼロです。
Big boob lollies is a genre that exists in the world.
僕が母性を感じられない女性になど興味ないことは僕自身より市松くんの方が詳しいはず。
Some go out of their way to look for the motherliness in lollies, otherwise known as lolly mummies.
俺は
The same crowd that likes cross-dressers is usually into the sleek, flat-chested lollies too.
そんなことはない。俺はついてるのにしか興味ない。
That's weird. Well, in the unlikely event you all awaken to the power of lollies, I doubt you'd do anything criminal, but... Going to a bathhouse together, huh? I'll send them there. I'll only tell you where it is. There's a place in the next town over called Nishiki Bathhouse. There's an apartment building nearby, so quite a few families take their kids there.
おお。
やったー、行くぞー。
やっほーい。
Off they went. I wondered if it was okay I didn't tell them that it had turned into a den for lots of scary older men due to its lax tattoo policy. Well, I guess so a lot of Yakuza members go there, huh? Oh well. What should I do now? It was still too early to head back to the dorm, and Ria was probably up on the roof.
ねえねえほら
Yeah? Sylvie just so happened to turn up.
お銭湯って私も一度行ってみたかったの。私にも場所を教えてくれない？
Ah, sure, but I'll have to run it by Elsan first. It was one of the few places left in Japan where those older men with tattoos could fit in, and it might disappear entirely if Sylvie visited.
さあ楽しみにしてる。あと一つお願いがあるの。レーナどこにいるか知らないかしら。
Yeah, I guess she hasn't come back yet. She's probably in the fashion studio.
実はレーナに借りてるものがあって今日中に返したいのだけど。姫様、そろそろお時間です。はいはい。というわけなの。
Was she asking me to return it for her due to her tight schedule? Sure, I'll make sure she gets it.
ありがとう。これよ。
I took the item she apparently borrowed. Lip balm. There'd be no issue returning something this small tomorrow if you ask me. Princesses were awfully dependable with these sorts of things. She tacked on another please before she ran over to Elsa. It ought to be fine to just shoot her a text when we got back to the dorm and return it then, but... yeah, I had an idea of where she was anyway. May as well take a trip over there.
あれ？何してるの市松くん。
I came to see Reina. She here?
ああ、うん。
Several of Reina's friends were walking out of the fashion studio. When I asked where she was, they pointed straight inside.
静かにね。
She added upon her departure. Quietly? Reina was the only one left. And she was drawing something. Oh, she's wearing glasses. Oh! A Reina I had never seen before was sitting at one of the desks. She was drawing something on a massive sheet of graph paper. And that something was a sketch of a human figure. But it didn't feel like she was drawing a picture.
ここから 3.1 よ。めんどくさいな。20センチでアンダーは。
She pressed several buttons on her calculator, did some quick measurements with her ruler, and drew several lines. This was one unappealing drawing style that would be sure to tick off any art teacher. She wasn't drawing pictures, she was calculating. Which had to mean this was... You were designing something, huh? She ignored me. No, she didn't hear me. She was so hyper-focused on drawing straight lines that her ears didn't seem to function. May as well wait. I stepped outside of her view and waited, careful not to disturb her. A single piece of lip balm. I really did think I could just send her a message later back at the dorm, but... Reina was wearing a pair of thick, bookish-looking glasses. She was so focused on the task at hand, she had set aside her own fashion sense in favor of functionality. It just so happened to captivate me since it was such a rare sight.
星の数素数17、19。偶数にして均等に散らした方が。でもそれじゃ星っぽさが出ない。
Her mind was in overdrive in an effort to assemble a mental image of her design. I knew she was serious when it came to fashion. But I never realized she was this serious about it.
もういたなら言ってくれればよかったのに。
In the end, Reina finished her work at the last second before the school gates closed. I did say something for the record. We talked as we headed toward the school gate together. I've never met someone so focused they didn't notice a change in their surroundings.
ああ、恥ずかしい。髪今大丈夫？
It's not messy enough to be worth bringing up. Apparently, her unflattering appearance back in the classroom was a touchy subject for a trendy girl like Reina, and her face was bright red as a result.
もう。
She was squirming like crazy beside me. Reina was normally so aloof, but seemed relatively ordinary when she got like this. She really was cute. By the way, I'd like to ask something.
ん？
Oh, did you pick out those glasses yourself, or your hair doesn't get messy, or you look great in a paper apron? I don't know. Did you pick out those glasses yourself?
いじるな、チキショ。
She got mad. I didn't know your eyesight was that bad.
うん。基本コンタクトの人。
Ah. Come to think of it, you have made some ridiculous faces when you look at your phone sometimes. Were you not wearing contacts then?
嘘。そっちも見られてた。
Whenever you squint your eyes, your mouth gets all crooked too. Watch out for that.
え、マジ？
Be careful, you make strange enough a face that I have to blatantly look away.
ああ、言わないで。自覚はあるから。
Yeah, she was really cute. We'll avoid the subject of how serious you get when you're on the job for now.
はい、お願いします。
You were doing that, right? Clothing design?
うん。
I successfully shifted the subject in a direction Reina preferred. Is that how this whole design thing works? You were measuring lengths and stuff with a ruler.
ああ、うん。デザインといっても服飾的なやつで、昔あったデザインの再構築だから。
Reconstructing?
もう流行ったのをパクって、より良い形にしましょうってこと。
Huh? Wouldn't that be pointless?
ないね。デザイナーの仕事じゃない。でもさ、もう現代って新しいデザインは出尽くしちゃってるから。
Ah. News outlets often included images with their fashion-related articles. And those same pieces would provide insight into the latest fashion shows that were held by designer colleges, where people would wear raw fish on their hats or snowman-like outfits. It had basically turned into a costume party. They were the sort of things Hollywood celebrities would only really wear at awards shows and the like, and it definitely didn't seem like they were wearing quote-unquote clothing designs. The clothing design market seemed completely saturated in the modern day, and it may be nearly impossible to create anything new. But isn't that enough reason that dragging out old designs would be pointless? I'd assume that wouldn't be any sort of achievement for a designer. Or so I thought.
違うんだな。
Reina was grinning. Sounded like this conversation was completely in her wheelhouse.
オーロってさ、黄金比って知ってる？
Golden ratio? What was it again? It's that thing where a roughly 1 to 1.6 ratio is best to informing a rectangle, right?
そうそうそうそう。正確には1対 1.618。
So then, when you divide it up into a square, the remaining 0.618 forms small rectangles and basically swirls around infinitely, right?
黄金長方形の作る無限のパワー！
So like, this is what lesson 5 is for. I had heard of this before. Many square-shaped objects used in modern-day activities were based on this ratio. It was apparently where the 1920 by 1200 display aspect ratio came from. So, what about it?
最近のファッション業界はね、こういう学術的な美観を用いるのが推奨されてるのさ。
Seriously? I had thought wearing a fish on your head or turning raw meat into dresses were what was trendy.
なんか人間が図形を見るときって黄金比の物体を見ると安心感があるんだって。まあこの学説は否定もされてるんだけど、自然界にもありふれてる形状だから、少なくとも人間の目が一番見慣れてる形状なのは確かだしね。で、ならそれを使えばファッションの与える美的感覚にも安定感が得られるだろうと。
Reina kept rambling on about complicated subjects. Look, I thought she was just as dumb as I was, but she wasn't a Noble Academy student just for show.
もちろん長方形だけじゃなくて、例えばスカートの幅は幾何学的に展開した時正五角形に収めるとかね。まあいろいろ。
Geometrically? I had heard what she said, but had no idea how to process that information.
ボタンの位置とかもそうやって場所を決めることでこれまであったデザインを一段階新しいものにできるっていうのが今の動きで、なら私もそれに乗っかろうかなと。
Oh, that is incredible.
理解できてる？
Not a bit. This was way over my head.
まあそれでいいよ。専門的な話だもん。要するに黄金比に気をつけるとバランスの取れたいいものができるってこと。
Balance, huh? It was easy to follow when she put it that way. Only to the extent that it struck a balance, that is.
バカ友だと思ってた私が結構すんごいことしててビビってるっしょ。
Yes. Design relied on mathematics. It seemed complicated enough that my interest waned the second I heard anything about it. With that, we headed back to the dorm. Before we said goodbye, we chatted a little longer. You're into some pretty complicated stuff, huh?
見直したっしょ。
What a drag, and here I thought we were on the same level.
いやいや、遠回りに失礼かよ。
She was doing some incredible work. But when we talked like this, Reina was Reina. The usual silly friend and trendy girl. Honestly, I was far more relaxed when she was her usual goofy self. But that's a given since you wear those humongous glasses. Huge glasses are proof you're intelligent. I got to see an unexpected side of you today. Maybe I'll write about it in my journal.
やめろ、チキショ。
I got the conversation back onto a joking track, and Reina blew her lid while forcing a smile.
ああ、顔から火が出そう。あの姿を男子に見られるなんて。
You really shouldn't worry about stuff like that.
当たり前じゃん。女子にとって外は戦場、おしゃれは戦闘服。それを脱いでるとこ見られるなんて、全身くまなく見られたようなもんだよ。
Sorry for that.
ああ、顔から出た火が光線と化して東京焼き尽くしそう。
Was she Godzilla? Reina was taking it well and made a quick gateway to her dorm room. I felt bad at the end there, but I'd gotten the chance to see so many different sides of Reina today. She was smart and shy. There was also that unfashionable get-up of hers to consider too. More than that though, I'd seen the side of Reina that was passionately devoted to her craft.